Joining me now from Toulouse in France is Reed Brody, a war crimes lawyer and former prosecutor, and he was the former advocacy director at Human Rights Watch also. Thanks so much for being with us, sir. We really do appreciate your time. And what is an incredibly significant point in this conflict, because in the past 48 hours or so, we've seen attacks on civilian infrastructure from both the US and Iran. As a former prosecutor who's obviously worked in this area extensively, can you just give us a sense? Do these amount to war crimes, these attacks on bridges in Iran or by hitting desalination plants in countries like Kuwait?
Sure. Well, look, the laws of war rest on two cornerstone principles. The first is that you can only attack military targets, never civilians, never civilian objects. The second rule is proportionality. Even a genuine military target can't be attacked if the expected harm to civilians is excessive compared to the military advantage. So bridges, power plants, water facilities, these are presumptively civilian. They only become targets if they're actually being used for military purposes, and even then, the rule of proportionality applies. So let's take the bridges. Yes, a bridge can carry a tank, but it also carries the ambulances, the food, the fuel that 90 million people in the case of Iran depend on. In April, one of Iran's tallest bridges at a main artery out of the capital was attacked. And then you have some things that are off limits entirely. The Geneva Conventions specifically protect objects that are indispensable to the survival of the civilian population, and they name drinking water installations explicitly. So desalination plants are purely civilian infrastructure. There is no legal argument whatsoever for attacking them. And so attacking a population's water supply is a war crime, full stop.
But yet that is exactly what we're seeing here. We just heard from our correspondent, Victoria, saying at least 2 are offline in Kuwait and in Iran as well through US strikes. What can be done at this point in the conflict, or does everything just get pushed back to once eventually it is all over and done with?
Well, of course, none of these states, neither the United States nor Iran nor the Gulf states, belong to the International Criminal Court, but these are war crimes carry universal jurisdiction. Any country in the world can prosecute them. Let's remember that the ICC, the International Criminal Court, has already issued arrest warrants for Russian generals for destroying Ukraine's power grid, precisely what is now being threatened and partly done in Iran. I mean, President Trump may not care, but military commanders who could one day face prosecution should care.
Right. Is the international legal system really fit for purpose at this point in time? You know, do the likes of the ICC or ICJ, are they powerful enough to actually dissuade leaders from any country from avoiding hitting civilian infrastructure in the middle of a conflict, in the middle of a war?
Well, apparently not. I mean, if we look at what's happening around the world, if we look at what's happening in Ukraine, if we look at what's happening in the Gulf, if we look at what's happening in Sudan, if we look at what's happening particularly in Gaza, we see that it's not. I mean, the international judicial system depends on states cooperating. I mean, there are arrest warrants out right now for Benjamin Netanyahu, for Vladimir Putin, but they continue to commit the alleged crimes. And we also see in the last week the United States just boldly saying that they were going to dismantle the International Criminal Court brick by brick. So it's really up to the countries of the world to fight back. I mean, we have sorry.
Sad audio.
Hello. Sorry.
Yeah, we can still hear you, Reed. Can I just ask you?
I'm sorry. I got a WhatsApp call. We have called. I mean, Iran and these countries should actually join the International Criminal Court for some level of protection. So the crimes being committed on Iranian territory, on Gulf state territory, would fall within the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court.
You touched on it a little bit there, but we've got leaders on both sides, whether it be Iran or Donald Trump, saying what they are going to do ahead of time, whether that is to destroy every single bridge in Iran. How significant are statements like that when it actually comes to trying to prosecute some of these things?
Well, of course, these statements by Donald Trump suggest even the intent to commit war crimes. I mean, he announced this Tuesday that next week comes the power plants, next week comes the bridges, unless they get to the table and negotiate. Back in March, he threatened specifically to hit possibly all the desalinization plants. So these are actually statements about the intent to commit war crimes. And, ultimately, just as Benjamin Netanyahu has been indicted, just as Russian generals have been indicted for attacking civilian infrastructure. The ICC may not have jurisdiction here because none of the countries are members of the ICC, but any country, at least once President Trump is no longer in office, could issue an arrest warrant for alleged war crimes being committed by these parties. I mean, we have to stand up. We just can't throw up our hands and say international law is no good anymore. We have to, the countries of the world, the people of the world have to say we want to enforce international law. We can't let Gaza be the graveyard of international law. We can't let the Gulf be the graveyard of international law. International law is there to protect civilians. It's to protect people.
Reed, as always, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you coming on and giving us your expertise and insight. Reed Brody there, war crimes lawyer and former prosecutor with Human Rights Watch. Thank you.